All right, in this video, you're going to take some data and see what you can interpret from what you see. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. Okay, here's what it says. A line graph shows the number of home runs hit per year by Babe Ruth and Hank Aaron over a 17-year stretch in each of their careers. These most productive years for the two players occurred when each was between the ages of 23 and 39. Now, if you look at the graph real quick, you don't see 23 and you don't see 39. So you have to understand a little bit of data there. In which years did they hit more home runs? Did Hank Aaron hit more home runs than Babe Ruth? Okay? We're going to give you a little bit of a solution down here in a minute, but we're going to cover that for a second. See if you can read that information and figure out the answers. Pause the video, read it again, make sure you can get the answer. All right, now, first thing that jumps out at me is it tells you that they're 23 to 39. So he was 23 years old here, and he was 39 years old there. They didn't live at the same time, but in a 17-year stretch, these were their best years of hitting home runs. That's what it says up here. So the question asks, in which years did Hank Aaron hit more home runs than Babe Ruth? Aaron is going to be the solid line. Okay? Well, I see right here he hit more home runs. I see that right there he hit more home runs. I see right there that he hit more home runs, and there. So there's some points that automatically tell me where they hit more home runs. What would be a trickier question is, at what age did Babe Ruth hit his most home runs? Well, if you look at your years, that's going to be year 10. How old was he? Well, if he was 23 here, he was 33 here. And so at 33, how many more home runs did he hit than Hank Aaron did when he was that age? Well, that's 45, 44 probably, 44 and 60. You can automatically interpret the data and get that information. Okay? And so be able to read your axes. This is what year? Oh, and that's not year on the calendar. It's age years. And so that was 23, 24, 25, 26. So you can go along and you can interpret the data. That's how you would use a chart like that. Here's another one real quick. I'm going to give you a minute. And it's also based on these home runs and from what you can read. So pause the video, see if you can answer them. We'll come back and answer number one. All right. In what year did Hank Aaron hit the most home runs? Well, I made a mistake real quick. It's going to come from this graph. Okay, so Hank Aaron is the solid line. In what year did he hit the most home runs? So I'll give you a second. You pause again, see how many he hit. Okay, you can tell on the graph it's close, but it's going to be that point right there. And what year? That was year 15. Could you figure out how old he was? Well, 39 is the top that it says right there. He was 37 years old when he hit his most home runs. Okay, so you can figure that very quickly. When you start looking at graphs like this one, let me go back to this graph. If I asked you, this graph, it says this graph shows the monthly profits over a one-year period for a manufacturing company. So this is a different question. I apologize. If I ask you what month tended to be their best month and how much was their profit? Well, I can tell it's right there. So it was in December. What was their profit, though? This is 18, 19. Wow, look at the numbers on here. It's not 1, 2. It's 1.5, 3. Oh, each line's 1.5. So that is 19.5 million. Boy, that's tricky. So you have to be able to read the chart. And so even if you have questions like this, where you're trying to figure out off a graph and read the graph, they're going to ask you to do that. If they ask you to do things like, what is the difference between a profit on this manufacturing company from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, January to December? Well, I can look at January and I can look at December and I can subtract those values. These are the biggest things for tables and charts, being able to read, interpret what it's giving you, and then quickly get the answer. If you're struggling with something like that, you can Google all kinds of tables and charts and you can practice using them.